So you are so good on your diet. You pay attention, you measure, you're very careful. So why aren't you losing weight? I was coaching one of my clients who has actually lost 70 pounds. We started working together in 2020, and I'm making this in December of 2025. She's down 70 pounds, has been keeping it off, and she went to the doctor. She needed in fact, she's getting a new hip this week. 20 years ago, she had needed back surgery. So her doctor said she needed to lose a bunch of weight, gave her this diet, and she followed it to a T. This client of mine is a PT. She is a mom of 3 kids. She is extremely careful and organized. She wasn't losing the weight. She was so upset with herself. Now that we've been working together and we've dove into it, I said, "Why do you think it is that you haven't lost the weight?" And she looked at me and she said, "I think it's because of the way that I've been thinking." So I want to show you what we're talking about. So we'll go to my blackboard here. The circumstance fact here is diet prescribed by doctor. What was the thought that she had about that diet? She had the thought of, I feel so embarrassed that this is my body. Then, when she has that thought, I'm so embarrassed, this is my body, how does she feel? Shame. Okay. So all of her actions, so that's an F for feelings. So all her actions are fueled by shame. So she feels bad about herself. She doesn't, she exercises, but not out of joy or excitement. She ruminates about all of her past failures. She thinks about when her mom took her to Weight Watchers and bought her the liquid drinks. She focused on all of the negative and not on the positive. She didn't feel inspired, or so a lot of the things that she did was out of duty, and her cortisol was up high. She felt like it was drudgery. When she spends all her time ruminating and focusing on the negative, what is the result? Even though she's going through the motions, the result is she continues to be embarrassed about her body and she's not getting the results that she wants. Now, this is the part that's really interesting. And this is how life coaching is so powerful. It's not the diet the doctor prescribed that caused her to feel shame. And it's not the diet that caused her to ruminate and focus on all the negative and think about all her past failures. It's not the diet the doctor prescribed that makes her feel shame that she's doing all of these things that are sabotaging her and that are creating the result of she continues to, like, she doesn't change her body because negative just creates negative, right? It's not that. It's because she has this thought, I'm so embarrassed about my body. So this thought now becomes inevitable for the result line. And now I'm going to show you this one thing that made such a difference for me in my weight loss journey. When my coach showed me a circumstance is just data. It's just a fact. You can prove this in a court of law. The diet the doctor prescribed, that's just neutral. The number on the scale for you, that's neutral. The size of your pants, that's neutral. It's just a fact. But it's not until you have the thought, because I could say I'm a size 6 and be like, that's amazing. I'm so happy to be a size 6. I never even thought I could be a size 6. But you could say a size 6, that's terrible. I should be a size 0, right? Because it's all up for grabs on how you want to think about it. When we have the circumstance, you always get to decide how you want to think. We have about 60,000 thoughts a day. So we can decide what thought we're going to have. She decided to glom onto, I'm so embarrassed about my body. When she made that choice, then now she's being fueled. All her emotions are fueled by shame. And shame is like, I don't want people to see me. You feel like you don't shine. Shame is like a mushroom, right? It's in the dark and it's fed a bunch of poop. Now all these actions are fueling her results, and her results inevitably become a version of her thoughts. Okay. So when you know that, I ask my clients, this is an unintentional model. You did not wake up in the morning and say, I have a great idea. I'm going to be fueled by a lot of shame and disappointment. No, we did not intend to have this result. The more that we can slow down and say, why did I choose, of all the thoughts that were options to me, why did I choose this one? I'm so embarrassed about my body. Inside my coaching, what I do is I am able to show you, what is it? Why are you getting the result? And why does that now make sense? So in this, the link there, you can see there's an invitation to meet with me, have a consultation. And in that consultation, I will work through this, it's called the model, to help you see why you're getting the results that you're getting, even though you didn't want to get those results. The more we can break it down, the more we can go into our higher brain and say, oh, why is this happening? This is when we become the CEO of our life. We can become our own authority. With this holiday series I'm creating for you, the 12 Days of Christmas Calm with Life Coaching Tools, the more you understand how the brain and body are connected, the more you understand your patterns, the more you can truly make this transformation. And the very first coaching session I ever had, I was sitting at my kitchen table. I was 205 pounds. And she said, what's your problem? I said, I just can't lose weight. And she said, no, is that a circumstance or is that a thought? I was like, oh, for sure that's a circumstance. She's like, no, it's not. Because in the morning when you wake up, and if you weighed yourself in the morning and at night, are you different weights? I was like, yeah. So she's like, you do lose weight even overnight. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, the circumstance is a fact. So what was a circumstance was 205 pounds. That's how much gravity I have on my body. And then the thought was, I just can't lose weight. And when I had that thought, I felt discouraged. And then, of course, my actions, even though I was working out, even though I was trying to be good and restriction and willpower and all of that, inevitably, everything was fueled by discouraged. You don't get great results when you're fueled by negativity. My result was I don't lose weight. Now I weigh 151 pounds, and that was in August of 2018. I'm recording this in December of 2025. It's unbelievable. All through perimenopause, all through menopause, not counting calories, not tracking steps, all because I learned the difference between the circumstance and my thought and the power of feeling my feelings and allowing them to be there. I want to invite you to think about what would happen if you were more present with your current thoughts. And when you allowed yourself to see what thoughts are you acting on, how are they fueling you, and why it makes sense that you're getting the results you want. So if you're willing to take me up on my coaching offer, I'd love to see you there.